Hey, friend. I hope you are doing really, really well, and I hope everything's been going great. It has been a hot minute since I've been able to talk to anybody. It's been crazy around here. So I finally thought, okay, I've got 2 seconds, so I'm going to talk to you for just a minute about something that's really, really important. I'm all the time studying things and all the time learning and finding out more information, and this week has just been kind of an eye-opening week for me of some things that I have been listening to and been reading. And so I wanted to share a few of these things with you that I have learned. So there's a little book called The Science of Getting Rich, and it is a really cool little book. It's very tiny. It's very, very cheap. I have some of these if anybody would like one. I have some. I'd be more than happy to send it to you if you want it. I'm going to read out of chapter 14, The Impression of Increase. Whether you change your vocation or not, your actions for the present must be those pertaining to the business in which you are now engaged. You can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you are already established in, by doing your daily work in a certain way. And in so far as your business consists in dealing with other men, whether personally or by letter, the key thought of all your efforts must be to convey to their minds the impression of increase. Increase is what all men and all women are seeking. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them seeking further expression. The desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of all the universe. All human activities are based on the desire for increase. People are seeking more food, more clothes, more shelter, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, and more pleasure, increasing in something, more life all the time. Every living thing is under this necessity for continuous advancement. Where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. So as I was reading that this week, I began to really think about, I heard someone say in a class that I am in, we all have the same opportunities. We all use Young Living, and it is an amazing product. I mean, this one little bottle, all these little bottles it's $1 million idea. I mean, we don't have to have. And so we have the same opportunity. Every one of us have the same opportunity to do the things that we do, to build a business, to create more, all the time. And I heard someone say, I am a money magnet. Each person, you are a money magnet. We are money magnets. It's all in our perception of money. We have all been told, I know, growing up, money don't grow on trees. Money is hard to come by. How are you going to get more money? You can't have that thing because you're going to waste all your money. And so we constantly try to we pull ourselves in 100 different directions trying to think, okay, do we need this thing? Do we not need this thing? Because we're going to have to spend money on this thing. We've spent all of our money. We can't spend all of our money. We use our money for more things, because spending is just getting rid of it. Spending's being done with it and it don't ever come back to you. But using your money, you use your money to buy clothes that you have to have. You use your money to buy food. All of these things are highly important. Those are things that we need, but it's not like money's going away and like you never can have more money. You just have to use your time wisely and think of new ideas on ways to achieve more money. And so that has been something that has totally I've spent a lot of time really thinking about. Like, everybody has the same opportunity. Every single person has the same opportunity. We all have the same hours in the day. We all have the same thing. But it all comes down to how we perceive our life to be. There are so many days that I think, oh, I just don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. I don't have the resources for this particular thing. And we think, money's a bad thing. Having the love of money is bad. The Bible says the love of money is not good. But when we're not just loving money, we're making money to be a service to someone. Like, we can be more of a service and a servant to someone by having more money. I mean, think about the fact that if you only have, say, $200 for the week, and you've got to buy your own family food with $200 a week, some people would say, okay, well, that $200 is going to be plenty to make it through the week. You don't need any more. Any more than that, it's just going to be a waste, because then you're just going to spend it on junk, whatever. Well, but what if you had just $200 extra a week? That could be going into something for someone else. So many times we have exactly what we need. I mean, God always gives us exactly what we need. He always provides. But what if you could be a servant to someone else? What if you had a little extra that you could turn around and give to someone else that was in need? That would be a blessing for you to be able to turn around and give to someone else. And I started looking at money in such a different way like that, and looking at it from a perspective of I could give instead of feeling like I'm always like, oh my word, I've got to have this much money this week. Oh my word, I've got to have this much money this week. It was all about me. But when you start turning that around and realizing, if I have all that I need, the extra can go to help someone else. It can be a servant for someone else. The money's serving you at that point. You're not serving the money. When you're constantly in survival mode, you are serving money. That is the love of money, because you are not doing with that money the things that need to be done. God provides so that you can help others, so that we can be a blessing to other people. So when you become a money magnet and you think of it in that term, that the money is serving me and I am serving others, it's a cycle that becomes a beautiful, wonderful thing to be able to help other people and not just helping yourself. And it's a whole nother world of looking at that. There's always a cause and effect in everything that we do. Everything, if you, the effect, we have a cause, like we share Young Living, we share whatever our job is, we make that money. Our cause is whatever we're doing, and the effect is the money that we make from that. So there's always a cause and effect to everything that happens in life, no matter what it is. So your cause is whatever you're doing to make the money comes to you, that's the effect. So then your service, you're using that as a service to other people. The cause is in my mindset. That is how I look at it, how I perceive the money, and what am I going to do with that. So if you're always looking for, like, okay, here's my goal, this is what I want to make, like say I want to be gold, this is my goal, is to be gold, then you've got that goal in mind. But what are you going to do with that? What is that money going to do? That money is going to go, of course, to maybe pay bills and the things that need to be done. But what is that extra money going to do? That extra money is going to go for you to be able to maybe provide some really cool stuff for your team. It may be to go to help someone who may be wanting to maybe adopt, or just don't have any way of buying diapers for their kids, or maybe someone that's on the side of the road that just is needing some money, but you don't normally have cash, where you could give them an extra something. There's always a place where you can earmark all of those things, those little extra things that you're going to do with that money that's going to be a service to someone else, and a service in a different way. It took me a little while to wrap my mind even around that thought, because I would start thinking, well, if I give all the money away, I'm not going to have money to pay for the bills I need, that I've got. But it's not about giving it all away. It's about providing for your family and doing what needs to be done. But when there's a lot of it, you have extra to give away. You're not going to have every single penny. And so it's a beautiful, when your mind starts just wondering and changing, and you begin to grow in that different perspective of how money works, it is a beautiful thing. So when you talk about the law of advancement, it's advancing in your mindset, advancing in how you treat others, advancing in that money is here to be our servant and to share with other people and to be that that help for others. Let's see, I was reading to see what I wanted to make sure I didn't leave out. Sometimes, we talk about writing our own story for our life. Do you want to be the star of your story and like you be the heroine, or do you want to be playing this little side part of it here? When you look at it from that perspective, you want to be the hero of your story. The hero is always the one that comes in and saves the day. The hero is the one that comes in and says, okay, everybody else, there's this horrible stuff going on, but the hero comes in and says, okay, let me fix this. I can fix this. And we can be that hero. We want to be the hero of our own story. I don't want to be the one standing at the cash register behind the thing, like being the little extra over here. I want to be the hero of my own story. I want to be the hero of helping so many people that it is just absolutely insane that people realize that there is so much more to life than just getting by and just surviving and being in survival mode. Survival mode is miserable. I lived in survival mode for way too long and I hated it. It was horrible. It was such a burden. And realizing that I can relax and I have the choice to make. I have a choice to make every single day of how I'm going to live and how I'm going to perceive life and how I'm going to choose to have the attitude and not to live in fear, but to live by faith and to totally just let go. I mean, like I used to, that saying, let go and let God, I used to think that's just the weirdest little saying, but it really is true. We have to just let go and let God take care of things, and He will, and He is, but we have to have that faith to trust Him that He is going to take care of it. But when we're living in survival mode, it's really hard to have faith. It's really hard to sit back and just relax and say, okay, God, take care of it. I used to think that I needed to be busy and crazy and upset and worried all the time to make things happen. And that's not so. That is so not the way it works. We have to live by faith and not by sight. Sometimes we have to not know what's coming, and that's fine. I mean, like, we can't know what the next day is going to hold, but we have to also have the faith that God's going to take care of it. He is not going to leave us. He is not going to let go of us, and He is going to provide in every situation and in all the things because He loves us. He wants us. Like, He didn't bring us here to just throw us out and leave us. Like, He wants to take care of us. When we think about making more money and we think about, I mean, like I used to just get so upset thinking, we have to have money to survive. Like, that is a must. That is the way life works. We have to have money to survive. But why is it so important? And I would just rationalize all the craziness in my head all the time of, where's the money going to come from? But then that was me being the one worrying. It was me being the one to try to do all the things. But when I stopped and I began to let God just take care of it and realize that I can live by faith. So then every day, at some point, if I feel that nervous tension rising up and that, oh my goodness, I've got to pay this bill or I've got to do this thing, and I start getting nervous about it, that's when I just stop and I begin to realize, okay, I can either put it over here on faith or I can put this on the side of fear. If I choose faith, I know that God's going to take care of it. And I tell myself every day, I know that I'm taken care of. I am happy and grateful now that, and I name whatever bill needs to be paid. It may not already be paid. It may not already be done, but I put it on that side of faith because I know God's going to send whatever it is we need for that particular thing. And I promise you, He's never, ever, ever let us down. Ever. He always provides. But when we live in fear and we live in that mode of always trying way too hard and push, push, push about things that we don't need to be pushing about and not trusting Him, that's when things go awry. That's when things get bad. So my challenge for you today is to every day for the next 30 days, wake up every single day and say, I am happy and grateful now that whatever it is, I don't care if it's something that's already changed or not. I mean, it has to be something that has not changed yet. Like, I want you to pick something that you're really trying, that you really want to happen. You don't see a way for it to happen, and you don't know that God's going to send a way for it to happen. But I want you to begin to trust Him for it, whatever it is. And I want you to say, I am happy and grateful now that, and I want you to name that thing, whatever it is. And I want you to every single day. And when that thought comes into your mind, or that worry comes into your mind, or the feeling comes into your mind, I want you to stop and say, I am happy and grateful now that, and just begin to feel the peace, because eventually that peace will come. It's not going to come right off. It's going to take you some time, and you're going to have to really work at it, and you're going to have to put yourself in that mode of, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. And you're going to have some anxiety, and you're going to have some upset moments, but I promise you, if you will keep on, and keep on, every single time that thought comes into your mind, when you start worrying about whatever the thing is, I am happy and grateful now that, and you put it on the side of faith, I know that God's going to take care of it, and you do that, I promise you, your feelings are going to change, your perception is going to change, and God's going to begin to be able to do more with you and provide in a different way for you than He has in the past, because now you're living on the side of faith. When the Bible says that if you had faith as a mustard seed, you'd be able to move the mountain, that's why. I mean, like, you may not see the physical mountain move, but sometimes He will move earth to make things happen for you and to bring these things about. It's not about just always, it's not a prosperity gospel, but it is trust. It is faith. It's putting your whole heart dependence on Him, and it will make all the difference in the world. You just have to trust Him and to believe in Him and know that He is not going to leave you, and He is not going to let you dry up, because He loves you more than anything. You are His highest form of creation. He created you in His image. We have God's image. That is a fact. He made us in His image. So why in the world would we doubt that He would take care of us or provide for us in any way? So I hope that is helpful for you today. I hope you have an amazing afternoon and a good rest of the week, and I'll talk to you soon.